So the RBP power steps are advertised to not be compatible with the Mega Cab, with Air Ride, which I have, which is partially true. In the standard stock configuration, correct, they will not work. The air compressor that's located right about there is in the way. So you make brackets instead. And what I did is that I bought the Amp Research relocation kit that you can buy pretty much anywhere and use that for upfront to relocate the air tank. And then I made my own brackets that will relocate the air compressor in the back to be kind of tucked up and over out of the way to clear the motor on the linkage. So as you can see, all nice TIG welded, and this one has a clearance hole. There's a little stub that sticks out in the frame, so that clearances that. So there's no drilling, no cutting of the frame, harness, anything like that. It just pushes up out of the way. You can use the hardware that came with the relocation kit from the Amp. Comes with the nuts and the bolts and stuff like that, and the factory hardware, and the bolts right in place. So like I said, they advertise not being compatible, but to an extent it's false. So here you can see the air compressor is mounted up. You can see the brackets there, so it shifts it over towards the front of the truck and up, along with this one as well. And you can see that hole there where the boss and the frame goes out. And then this side is spaced out with 2 washers in between because the factory bracket has a bump out in it, so that way it's not trying to tweak anything, but it fits good up out of the way. It's not hitting anywhere on the top, anywhere on the side. There's one plug on this side that you have to unclip and kind of move out of the way just to get a little bit more room out of it. But you can see now you have access to where the motor brackets go right up in there. So everything's all put in, anti-seize on the hardware. When we put these brackets in here, what I did is I tied a string to it, so just in case something happens and it drops down, you can go fishing and get it out. And I'm going to anti-seize this face because it's going to be up against the sheet metal, and then also anti-seize the threads from where the bolts go in as well. So as you can see, the bracket is now, or the motor is now installed. You can see how it clears there. It's very close to there, and I actually had to slot out the bracket that I showed you before for this, just to give it a little bit more clearance between here, because the rubber isolators, when it moves around and it settles down, it does hit the motor, and you can hear it inside the cab. And also give a little bit more gap in between that, because that's super close as well, but it does fit. The other thing is that the motors, the pedal assemblies here don't go in the location that they're specified to. So as you can see, this one says front right, which would be the one up over there, and we're on the rear right, and it works out better this way. There's no functionality issues. The only issue that comes up is these 2 bolts here that go through the pinch weld on the driver's side front, or driver's side rear, I believe. There's 3 sets of dimples that are in this bracket itself, the main piece from RBP, and you just have to drill and tap offset one way, and everything else lines up. And then the other thing that I did is that I put some rubber and plastic washers in between these bolts, so that way they don't dig into the paint and create a place for rust to start. So that's just a little tip there, and I'll get the locations of where I put each motor, and I'll let you know where they end up, so if you need to recreate this, you'll know. So as you can see, this is how the motors are labeled compared to where they actually ended up in place. So this one's really the only one that's right. So this is front left, rear right, front right, and rear left. Obviously doesn't match up, but they all work. Can prove that to you. Open the door, and they open. Shut the door, wait for the delay, and they go up. And then I have the switches installed. So there's just that little magnet that gets double-sided tape there, and then this receiver that gets double-sided tape to the pillar, and you have a wire going through that gets tucked up underneath there. All the wiring is pretty self-explanatory. Everything's labeled. I was able to get everything underneath the carpet except for the wire coming through over here. You can just see that white wire right there. So eventually I'll get to it and I'll run it underneath, but you don't see it unless you're looking for it, so that's really not too bad. You have the lights installed, which obviously it's daytime, you can't see, but the lights are there. All in all, very happy with them. They work great, they work really good. And then I'll show you on the other side what I did with the switch. So the directions tell you to route the override switch and put it somewhere along here or up there, and my opinion is that's just stupid. So I put mine underneath the seat right there, and that switch is for if you ever want to override them and shut them off or leave them down, you can do that. So the other cool thing is that the motors monitor feedback, so if there's any obstruction, say your foot was on it and you close the door, the step's not going to go up. It won't burn out the motor or anything. And what I found is that it's convenient when washing the truck. You can do that, and then you can get up on top of the roof and wash it easily, and you don't have to worry about getting a ladder or stepping on your door sill or anything like that. So all in all, very pleased with this product so far. If I have any issues, I'll make sure to update you along the lines. If you're trying to do this install on a truck with air ride, let me know if I can help you out in any ways. But that'll be it for this one. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later.